Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome to the Season 9 mid-season finale of Who'd Win and Why. And this time we've got Black Widow from Marvel Comics going up against Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. Now, both of these characters have pulled off some crazy missions, even for super spies, and they both seem to have capabilities that are a little beyond just human. But today it's time for me to decide who I think would win in a battle to the death between these amazing agents. So, who'd win and why? Let's find out! Alright, so first I'm going to talk about Black Widow. Black Widow is given a variant of the super soldier serum which created Captain America. And while she didn't become anything like Steve Rogers, and she's still technically classified as only peak human, it's pretty clear that she has capabilities that are far beyond that of what humans are capable of. She can lift up to 500 pounds, run up to 30 miles per hour, and can survive falls from several stories. She's even tough enough to survive a nearby grenade explosion. Along with her enhanced strength, speed, and durability, she also possesses remarkable agility and reflexes, as she is a very well-trained acrobat and she can dodge bullets from mid-range, and sometimes on occasion close range. She also has the stamina to exert herself at peak capacity for up to 1 hour, which is freaking insane. She also seems to gain a very small healing factor from the serum, but it can still take her hours to heal even the smallest of wounds. And the serum also improves some other things, such as her aging process and mental resistance. As we all know, Black Widow is a master martial artist, so much so that she's mastered at least 8 different fighting styles, including judo, ninjutsu, karate, and boxing. She is so skilled that she's been able to stand up to Winter Soldier and even Wolverine on some occasions. She's also a master spy, and she uses her training in stealth and infiltration to her advantage to get the drop on most of her opponents. However, during her training in the Soviet Union, it was pretty clear that what they were trying to do was turn her into an assassin, and they definitely succeeded. Black Widow is a master assassin and possesses many different ways to end her opponent. She has been trained to kill face to face, up close and personal, if the need would arise. And she uses her martial arts, acrobat, and spy skills to enhance her assassination skills. All that put together makes for one deadly assassin. And her assassination skills rival the likes of Winter Soldier and even that of Deadpool's, so she's pretty deadly. While Black Widow may not be as great a strategist as, say, Captain America or Batman, she is still a damn good tactician and has had a lot of experience strategizing and field commanding. She's even led the Avengers and even S.H.I.E.L.D. on some occasions, which is pretty impressive. She has been known to quickly process information about her surroundings and change up her strategy accordingly. She's also a master hacker and seductress, which has proven quite helpful in terms of infiltration. Black Widow is a master markswoman, and she can use her sharpshooting and knife-throwing skills with great effectiveness. She's also very proficient in all the gadgets and weapons that she carries around with her, and there's quite a number of them. First of all, Black Widow has her trademark gauntlets, which carry around a number of different items, including tear gas pellets, a spring-loaded cable, and even a radio transmitter. She also carries around a number of different generic items, such as explosives, pistols, and combat knives, and she also carries around a device known as the Widow's Bite, which can stun an opponent and shock them with up to 30,000 volts of electricity, which is extremely harmful, definitely enough voltage to kill a regular person. When looking at Black Widow's costume, it may just look like your standard leather suit, but it's actually a little more than that. It contains synthetic stretch fabrics, which make her more resistant to small firearms and high temperatures, at least by a little bit. And it also contains suction cups which allow her to cling to and scale walls. They don't call her Black Widow for nothing. With all of these amazing traits wrapped into one super spy, it's pretty clear that she doesn't have any exploitable weaknesses. However, that does not mean she is perfect. She has been beaten in battle before by characters who are skillfully or physically superior to her, and she's only been seen fighting the ridiculously powerful bad guys when alongside the Avengers. But even if she is not the best fighter in the world, she has still made quite a name for herself. She has risen through the ranks of S.H.I.E.L.D. and has now become one of its best fighters and spies. I personally would never cross Black Widow under any circumstances. Alright, so now it's time to talk about Solid Snake. Solid Snake possesses amazing physical capabilities thanks to his super soldier genes, considering that he's a clone of Big Boss, literally the greatest soldier who ever lived, and thanks to the injection of his physically enhancing nanomachines. These two things together give Solid Snake capabilities that are a little above that of your average peak human, and he's got the feats to support that. Snake is strong enough to trade blows with extremely enhanced soldiers and even cybernetic ninjas, fast enough to easily avoid gunfire and even knives thrown by Vamp, whose abilities are at least approaching superhuman levels, and he has the stamina to power through bullet wounds and even survive the insane physical and electrical torture that Volgin put him through in Metal Gear Solid 3. And if you're in any way familiar with that, you know how freaking insane plane, that is. However, where Snake really seems to shine is in his durability. Not only has he survived falls from tremendous heights, but he also once made his way through a hallway that bombarded him with microwave radiation for 3 minutes straight. Not only was he able to make it out on his own, but he also didn't seem to suffer any sort of significant burns throughout the entire experience. I don't know what those super soldier genes did to his skin cells, but holy cow. Snake is an absolute boss when it comes to fighting, and has supposedly mastered over 32 different martial arts. However, his much preferred fighting style is the fighting style that was taught to him by Big Boss himself, Close Quarters Combat, or CQC, which is a brutal mix of gunplay and hand-to-hand combat, which has helped him immensely in terms of taking down other highly trained soldiers, ninjas, snipers, psychics, and beyond. Obviously, Snake's greatest weapon is his stealth, and he always prefers to stay hidden during his missions. Thankfully, he's got some equipment to help him out with that. First is his suit, also known as his Octo Camo, which not only matches the color of his surroundings, but also the temperature and texture, making him essentially completely invisible. He's also got his Solid Eye, or his futuristic eye patch, which always keeps him aware of his surroundings using night vision, infrared, and radar. He's also got his nanomachines, which energize his codec, which allows for completely silent communication with Otacon, which is essentially Snake's guy in the chair, who is very good at hacking and can hack into any computer system given enough time. Snake has used many different weapons and can use virtually any weapon he gets his hands on with high proficiency, but he always likes to keep his load light. Along with any explosives he may carry from time to time, he's also got his Ruger Mark II pistol, which is full of tranquilizer darts, his stun knife, which emits a non-lethal electric current through the blade, and his 1911 operator, which is what he uses for his lethal shots. Solid Snake has shown his amazing tactical skills over and over again during missions, and he's known as the soldier that makes the impossible possible, for very good reason. He's pulled off some ridiculously crazy missions over the years, and he's proven very resourceful and creative during stealth and combat, including when he was able to kill his own father, Big Boss, with nothing but a lighter and a hairspray can. Remember, this is the greatest soldier we're talking about here, and Snake was creative enough to use that to kill him. Well, supposedly kill him. He came back. Despite all of this, however, while Snake may be considered the perfect soldier, that would realistically be a little bit of a stretch to say. Despite his durability, Snake can still be brought down by a simple bullet, if it's shot in the right spot, and his Octo Camo does not do too much to provide from other weapons. Not to mention that his strength and speed have very clear limits, and someone who is physically superior to him may be able to beat him in combat. Any way you look at it though, Snake is about as tough as soldiers come. He's accomplished things that most soldiers only dream of doing, and his combination of stealth and combat definitely make him one hell of a threat. Alright, so now that I've gone over both of these characters, it's finally time for me to decide who I think would win in a battle to the death. And I gotta say, this fight is ridiculously close. These two characters are so evenly matched in so many different categories that it really makes this fight hard to call. In fact, this fight is so close that in the reasoning for this video, it may seem a little different from other videos that I've done, simply because in order to judge who would win, you really have to go into the specifics and look at the tiny details. That's how close this fight is. However, after looking at all of the information over and over and over again, I do think that I have my answer. After a very long, hard fight, I do personally believe that Solid Snake would come out on top. And if you disagree, if you think that Black Widow would win this fight, that's great, that's perfectly fine, tell me why in the comments below, but here's why I personally think that Solid Snake would beat Black Widow more often than not. In this reasoning, I am going to try to go into as many categories as I can, and when it comes to the physical categories, these characters seem to be very evenly matched in terms of strength, speed, and stamina. Black Widow gained her enhanced abilities after a super soldier serum, and Solid Snake has his abilities because of his super soldier genes and the injection of his nanomachines. So their origins and feats do seem to match up pretty well, and they do seem to be pretty even in terms of these categories. However, there is one physical category where there does seem to be a substantial difference between the two. While Black Widow does have some enhanced durability because of the serum, Solid Snake's durability is clearly superior. He was able to survive intense microwave radiation for 3 minutes straight, whereas a normal human skin would have deteriorated within 3 seconds. That's insane. Black Widow is tougher than most, but to my knowledge she has never survived anything to that extreme, and this means that Solid Snake would be able to easily take in most of her hand-to-hand combat attacks, as well as some of her less lethal weaponry. However, it is worth noting that one well-placed bullet would be able to put either combatant down, and each of them have suits that only provide light protection against weaponry. Another thing that's important to bring up is Otacon. Not only may Otacon seem like some sort of unfair advantage advantage that Snake has, but it also is virtually impossible to tell how much help he'd actually be in this fight, considering that could heavily depend on where they're fighting, depending on how much technology is in the area and how much he can hack into. However, no matter what you think about Otacon or how much help he'd actually be in the fight, I do think there are some pretty prominent advantages that Snake still has over Black Widow. Let's talk about their weapons. Both of these characters carry a number of weapons, some similar, some different, and both are highly proficient with all of them. Black Widow may be more versatile, at least on the offensive side, but Snake's durability shows that he would be able to survive Black Widow's more unique, less lethal weaponry. For example, him being able to survive that crazy electrical torture in Metal Gear Solid 3 without sustaining much physical damage at all means that he would definitely be able to survive something as small as Black Widow's Bite device in comparison. But, more importantly, like most martial artists, whenever Black Widow is in a hand-to-hand fight, she prefers to go in empty-handed, and she usually likes to rely more on her skill rather than her weapons, except for maybe her gauntlet gadgets, and she likes to use her weapons from more at a distance more often. But again, this goes for most martial artists, so why am I holding this against her? Well, think back to Snake's training. He was trained to seamlessly incorporate his weapons into his hand-to-hand fighting style. He was trained how to use it in up-close combat, meaning that he can use his weapons whether they're up close or from a far distance, whereas Black Widow just doesn't have that kind of experience. Ultimately, Snake is going to be pulling out his weapons faster and sooner, and he's going to start dealing out the deadlier attacks sooner, and that's just going to make him more deadly overall sooner in the fight. And Snake's better use of weaponry also affects the level of their fighting ability. Not only does Snake know over 30 different martial arts, whereas Black Widow knows maybe at best half of that, but he also is just more unpredictable because of his CQC fighting style. And Black Widow doesn't have a lot of experience fighting anyone who uses a similar style. She's more used to unarmed combat, which means that Snake is just, simply put, the deadlier and more unpredictable fighter out of the two. Another advantage that Snake has is experience. Yes, both of these characters have had a lot of experience taking down spies and trained combatants like each other before, but Snake's resume seems to be a little more impressive. Snake has taken down a crap ton of tough characters who are amazing fighters, some of which also being physically superior, such as Liquid Ocelot, Liquid Snake, Vamp, Big Boss twice, Cybernetic Ninjas, Gray Fox, and Gray Fox again when he returned as a cyborg, and Snake was able to take him down with his skill alone. Not to mention that Snake has been able to take down the walking nuke shooters known as Metal Gears over and over and over again. Now yes, he has gotten much better at this over time and he has found some of their weaknesses, but remember, the first time he was able to destroy a Metal Gear, he was still a rookie and he had barely any prior knowledge about Metal Gears, if any prior knowledge at all. So this shows that even in his early days, he was able to think critically and use amazing problem-solving skills. And this is similar to how he was able to defeat Big Boss with nothing but a lighter and a can of hairspray. Black Widow has stood up to characters who are physically superior to her as well, but she hasn't seemed to have racked up that many astounding victories, at least not to the same extent as Snake. And when she's taking on the really big bad guys, she's usually with the Avengers to help win the fight. So overall, while both of these characters have taken down characters like each other before, Snake has taken down characters, which really shows that Black Widow is not going to prove that much of a problem for him, whereas Black Widow can't really say the same about Snake in my opinion. And if some of you guys think that none of that matters, keep in mind the difference in stealth between these characters. Both of these characters are expert spies and they are masters of blending into the shadows, but Snake has his Octo Camo, which allows him to blend into his environment. And unlike Batman, he doesn't need it to be dark or anything like that in order for it to work. He can use his Octo Camo to blend into anything in any sort of lighting, whether it's day or night. Again, this turns him practically invisible. Not even Gecko bots with their specialized tracking can find him when he's using the Octo Camo. So there's really no reason to believe that Black Widow would be able to find him either. So this will be a huge factor in the fight, especially considering it's one of Snake's preferred strategies. In contrast, if Black Widow ever tried to hide, if she ever even got the chance, not only does she not have anything like Octo Camo, but Solid Snake has his Solid Eye, which would easily be able to find her. Ultimately, Snake's Octo Camo would not only allow him to hide if Black Widow was ever getting the upper hand in a fight, but more importantly, it would allow him to land the killing blow silently while hidden first. Remember, it only takes one good shot to put either of these combatants down, and considering that one character can turn nearly invisible and the other can't do anything remotely close to that, it's pretty clear who would most likely land the killing blow first. Overall, this fight is, plain and simple, a very close bout. Almost all the advantages that these characters have over the other, if not all of them, are extremely close, and some are practically on the dot even. I could definitely see Black Widow pulling out a win if she uses her versatility to her advantage, along with switching up her fighting style from time to time. However, Snake simply has more advantages that he can rely on, and has proven time and time again that he's truly prepared for anything. While each character could certainly win this fight, I feel that Snake's better use of weaponry, along with his superior durability, stealth, fighting ability, critical thinking, and experience would be just enough to finish this extremely tough mission. So, in my opinion, the winner is Solid Snake. So guys, thank you all so much for watching this. I really do appreciate it. I've been wanting to do this fight for a really long time now, and I'm finally glad that I was able to get to it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I do want to say though that this does seem like it will be the last Who, When, and Why episode that will come out before school starts. So again, I really hope that I will be able to get Who, When, and Why episodes out within a constant pace, during school. It may be a little difficult, but I'm really going to try to do it, at least for the rest of the season. I'm going to try to get it out within a constant pace, and I just really hope that I'll have enough time to do it, and I will try to make sure that I'm not going to be lazy. I am going to try to do it to the best of my ability. But for now, what did you guys think of the fight? Who do you think would win? Do you think Solid Snake would win? Do you think Black Widow would win? Tell me down in the comments below, because I'd really like to hear your reasoning. And if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a huge like. I always appreciate the likes. Comment down below what you thought of it, what you thought of the video, what you thought of the battle, anything like that. And if you guys could subscribe to my channel, that'd be so great. That would really help my channel out. I would really appreciate it. But no matter what, your view is plenty of contributions. Thank you guys so much for watching. And next time on Who, When, and Why, we've got Shrek going up against Wreck-It Ralph. See you all then.